Check it out.
Hey Q, it's a broke day, but everything is okay. I'm up all night, but everything is alright. It's a rough week and I don't get enough sleep. It's a long year, pretending I belong here. It's a broke day, but everything is okay. I'm up all night, but everything is alright. It's a rough week and I don't get enough sleep. It's a long year, pretending I belong here.
Apparently like 4 other people have it too. Just going around. Colds, flus, COVID.
Yeah.
It's just another thing we get anymore.
That's how it seems. What's fucking going on, everybody? It's the VoKabs Voice of Unreason podcast. We've never done this before, so it might be a little bit awkward. And for some...
Oh, it's gonna be a little bit awkward.
And we only have one microphone today because my fucking interface did not show up on time. So that's how that's gonna go for today. But we're over here playing this new Hogwarts game. It looks pretty fucking crazy.
It's pretty good. They did a pretty good job on it. A lot more functionality. I mean, the graphics could be better, but they focused, even on my TV, they focused more or so on what you could do in the game, which I think is a little bit more important anyway.
So it's all open world, right? Like you can,
Oh yeah, I can go anywhere and do anything.
you can do anything you want on here.
Yeah. You can get the, I guess, I haven't dug into it too much, but I guess if you get, comes through options where you choose like your best friend that's like Gryffindor or Slytherin or whatever. If you choose Slytherin, it takes you, at some point, lets you get like the Cruciatus curse, the killer curses that like
Oh, so you can
Voldemort.
choose to go bad or...
Oh yeah.
So does it start out with like you get a letter and...
No, it starts out, you actually start as a 5th year because you're older. You're some kid that's got like some connection to ancient magic that you didn't discover your wizarding powers till later. And so he's starting as a 5th year. You still go through like the sorting hat and all that.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a hole. Because how did they... I thought you got sorted your first year at Hogwarts, so how are you a 5th year?
You do, and it explains that in the beginning. Why you're starting as a 5th year, you get connected with one of the professors who brought you there. And
No.
it actually, weirdly enough, it follows a lot of main story points that Harry Potter had. Like, you end up in Gringotts and going through something crazy. And then you get to Hogwarts, and everybody's asking how you can start as a 5th year and whatnot. It's your first year at Hogwarts, but you're not obviously going to start as, I don't know what a 5th year would be age-wise, but you're not going to start as, a kindergartner when you're...
Well, I think in the book, Harry is 11 when he starts his first year.
Yeah, so
if you're a 5th year, you're 16.
something like that, yeah. So you're not going to start the same way you're not going to start kindergarten when you're 12 years old, right?
Yeah.
So...
Crazy. I was always a big fan of the fucking Harry Potter shit. I'm glad that they finally did a good game, because they've had tons of Harry Potter games, but none of them that I don't think lived up to the lore of Harry Potter. Did you hear about all the fucking controversy behind this game?
No. What? There's controversy for this game?
Yeah, it's like everybody's mad at J.K. Rowling. So... because of what she said about trans people.
I didn't even hear about that.
She basically is just talking a whole bunch of shit about like trans people and
Really?
yeah, basically saying that she had like a whole list of fucking tweets or some shit that was derogatory, I guess. And people got fucking pissed off. So there's a whole bunch of trans supporting people and allies or whatever you fucking call them that are boycotting this game because they think that it's putting money in J.K. Rowling's pocket, which I mean it is, but it's not. It's putting more money in the game.
And it's not, because actually J.K. Rowling, all she did was basically sign the rights to be able to say this game can be made.
Yeah.
She actually has no standing in this game whatsoever.
Well, and
they built this off of the world she built, but she doesn't have any standing off this. Like, this isn't J.K. Rowling.
That's what I didn't get either, is because, I mean, there's like a whole world of Harry Potter at Universal Studios that I'm sure she gets paid for every time a ticket's fucking sold.
Yeah.
So are you going to boycott Universal Studios and never go there again, just because she fucking.
Some of those extremes will. Some of those extremes will, man.
It's crazy. Whatever. Just play the game. Have fun.
Yeah.
Fuck people. It's whatever.
People can't help but. I mean, to a sense, they got to have something to live for, right? But at the same time, is it really worth your... How much more energy can you be focusing on something else rather than fuck J.K. Rowling? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it's... I don't know when you weren't allowed to have an opinion anymore. Like, I try to look back and look at when that changed. Is there like a pivotal moment in history where people started being fucking vaginas about everything?
Yeah, 2000.
That's 2000? Because
when Y2K became a thing, dude, everything changed. Like, that was... You got to think, dude, we're 90s kids. We still got our asses whooped, right? We still got...
Yeah, but in 2000, I was only...
I mean, I was
7?
8 in 2000, so
yeah,
you were 7. But, okay, so maybe early 2000s, you know what I mean?
I think 2010.
Yeah, that generation that started coming after us, right? I mean...
I think 2010 is where everything changed.
I probably didn't get a cell phone until it was 2000.
I remember that you bought me my first touchscreen phone. You like loaned me $50 at fucking AT&T or whatever so I could buy that touchscreen phone. And then I remember like 3 months later I got mad at whoever I was dating at the time and fucking broke it. And
Sounds about right. I think it is around that early 2000s when there started becoming another generation after us. You know what I mean? And I mean, Y2K 2000 was to me the turning point of everything because everybody started looking at things different, right? So we had in 2000. Was it 1? We had 9/11, right? So by that point, everybody had started kind of changing from there, the way they viewed things. Now it was all Bush's fault. Granted, we always had presidential issues, but now it was Bush's fault. Everything was Bush's fault. More people started coming out of the woodworks. That's when it became ultra left and right to me. Maybe that was the moment I seen it because I was still a kid.
Dude,
But I think it was that early 2000s that everything started taking a turn.
Yeah, but when you look back at it too, like I didn't realize until recently I kind of been going down a lot of rabbit holes of like history and politics and history, and there's been, look at Richard Nixon. He's like as right-leaning as, not even as right-leaning, he stood firm in the fucking right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's this whole shit that Joe Rogan was talking about in his podcast called Bohemian Grove. You ever heard of that?
I haven't, no.
It's this, it was like the secret club where they fucking worshipped the owl god Moloch or whatever.
Huh.
They burned like effigies and then had gay orgies. But it was like really fucking like prominent people. And Richard Nixon went on the news or something and said it was like the faggiest thing he ever seen. It's like Jesus fucking Christ.
The president says that nowadays, man. It's hell. You couldn't even get out. Don't get me wrong. I was a Trump supporter, but he definitely needed to plug that mouth a little bit. That's for damn sure. But you look at what he said. Half the stuff he said, right?
Yeah.
This world through a conniption fib. By which I'm not saying by any means wasn't right, because like I said, no matter how good you can be as a president, there is a point of opening your mouth entirely too much.
No, I think we needed somebody that ran their fucking mouth.
Running their mouth is one thing, but tell me, and he was a president that I supported, but tell me there wasn't some ignorance that came out of his mouth for absolutely no reason.
No, there absolutely was. Absolutely was some shit that he said that was off the wall. But I think the only reason why we think that too is because of the way the media framed shit that he said and put it out of context. Like I've seen lots of videos where people are, you know, the Mexicans are rapists thing that he said.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't calling Mexicans rapists. He was calling Mexican cartels rapists, and it was pulled out of context.
Right.
You know, and so it's like sound bites. Like, I'm sure if this fucking podcast ever blows up, somebody's going to look back and say, he said Richard Nixon was a good guy for calling Negroes back. It's like, that's not really the case. I just, there's, you can take sound
twisting
bites.
and contorting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, And that's where a lot of this whole thing that you
Or
brought
like
up
grabbing by the
originally
pussy.
even comes from.
We said
Yeah.
way. I've said way worse stuff than grabbing by the pussy.
I do concrete for a living, but there is worse stuff that goes on the job site daily.
Every single fucking day.
But it all goes back to, I guess, conception. I mean, period. Or perception, I should say, how you perceive those things, because the media will tell us whatever they want. It's how you take it, and that's where it goes back to opinion thing. So we're allowed to have our opinion, but we're not allowed to have our opinion, right? Everybody wants an opinion, but opinion is truly based off of what you perceive out of something. We could take the same video of Trump and pull two completely different things out of it. Did we just... we just got kicked off live? Is that what just happened?
Live access removed. Hateful behavior. We just got banned on TikTok for hateful behavior. My live access will be restored on March 4th.
March 4th.
Damn, son. 10 days in jail, in TikTok jail.
10 days?
Yep.
Bro. That's a month.
March? Today's February 25th.
Oh,
March 4th.
wow. Yeah. I'm a month ahead in my brain. Okay.
What are you doing?
Nothing. I'm just ahead in my brain. That's funny. I didn't think we had anything hateful. There goes that not being able to have an opinion thing.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Man.
Just got banned on TikTok.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. This shit actually says hateful behavior. So your live access was suspended for violating our hateful behavior policy. We don't allow content that, one, attacks, threatens, incites violence against, or dehumanizes an individual or group based on protective attributes, includes slurs. Yeah. Oh, I said fag.
You did.
Yep, I said
You did.
fag. And it got me banned on TikTok for 10 days, guys. Imagine that. That's how it goes. So, in this game, did you decide to go Dark Wizard or Good Wizard?
I ended up in Gryffindor, man. It's all based off your choices. So, now, I didn't get that far, but apparently if you don't like the house you're picked, you can basically pick your house. So, like, if you answer the questions and it wants to stick you in Gryffindor, but you want to be Hufflepuff, you can pick Hufflepuff. Sorting Hat will put you in Hufflepuff.
Oh, so you can be like, I don't want to be a Slytherin. I want to be a freaking Hufflepuff.
Or Ravenclaw or Gryffindor or whatever. Yeah, you basically can choose it. It's
Oh, well, that kind of takes the fun out of it.
It does. I think you can. I definitely think you should be able to. Should have to stick to the house you're chosen. But I got put in Gryffindor and I was kind of happy with that, so I stuck that. It's all based off your choices that you give the game.
Have you noticed anything like... So, another problem that people are having with the game is they're saying that the goblins represent Jews.
Oh, boy.
Like, the likeness of the goblins is...
Okay. Of the elves?
No, the goblins.
The goblins.
So...
Like the Gringotts goblins and whatnot?
Yeah, because this whole game ends up being a giant war against the goblins. And so, yeah, they're saying that the likeness of the goblins, like the noses and the ears and all that shit is...
Okay.
And how they control the money.
Okay, I mean, it makes sense. At the same time, do we really have to tear something apart that way? Like, where was these things back when the 8 Harry Potter movies were made?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The goblins controlled the money.
The goblins control the money. So it's got to be about Jews, right? Like, it has to. There's no other... That's what I don't get about most of this shit is... I feel like they're just projecting.
They have to. I mean, at some point, it's just of how many problems can we make? I mean, really.
Jesus, dickhead, you want to turn your
Ringer off? Yeah, I
phone
will.
on vibrate?
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, let me see if I can find that fucking article I was reading.
At this point, it's become such a normality. People have to pick something apart. Like, it can't just be something.
Yeah.
This game was made out of entertainment. This game wasn't made with hidden agendas. It wasn't made with hidden messages. It's the wizarding world. The 8 movies that this came out with, along with the 7 books, generated millions of dollars and made its way into millions of minds, right?
Yeah.
Around that time, did anybody pick this apart like that? No. Not until it started becoming a normality to cause a problem.
Well, yeah, and also I think once J.K. Rowling decided to start speaking publicly.
Well, yeah, she made herself a target
for opinions.
Yeah. But
I feel like just when you're at that stage of human, you know, like people are watching everything that you do. You have millions of fans. You can't just say whatever you want.
You can't, but you're also going to be subject to criticism at any given point, too. It doesn't matter what you do.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, you should know better than... I mean, especially in today's climate, you know, you say something that's considered against any of those communities, and you're automatically a terrible person. Like, this is episode 1 of this podcast, and already I can tell you the trans community is not going to like me. So, but I mean...
And, again, to each his own. You want to live that life, That's up to you. Your life ain't got nothing to do with mine, right? But...
No, and I'm not going to sit there and fucking dog on you for it either.
No.
You know, that's not my place. I don't judge anybody for anything that they do. I used to do cocaine like it was my job. You know what I'm saying? Like, you used to smoke.
Well,
that.
it was our job.
Yeah.
But, so an example, DC Universe, right? Marvel and DC. Marvel is this multi-million-dollar empire right now, right?
Yeah.
DC tried to follow in its footsteps. Did good job on some movies. Every person that has been cast so far, Aquaman, Jason Momoa, Henry Cavill, Superman, Ben Affleck, Batman, they're all fired. Every one of them is fired right now, except for the guy playing in the new Flash movie. He has caused more ruckus and done... I can't remember the stories in detail, so I don't want to get into them, but basically he did some things that would get 90% of other people blackballed. You know why it didn't? Because he's part of the trans community.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's part of the trans community, or supportive of, and therefore every person in DC is now fired except for Ezra Miller.
I support humans wanting to be humans. You know what I'm saying? Like,
live your life.
Your experience isn't mine, and I'm not going to judge you for it. And I don't know how it feels to want to be a woman. I'm not going to even for 1 second pretend like I understand that feeling.
No, and it's got to be a different feeling, but at some point everybody wants to be something that they are not.
I do understand that the feeling of wanting to not be
what you are or where you're at.
Yeah, like I would much rather be fucking loaded off of making music than ever turn another wrench in my fucking life. But I can't, at least not right now. You know? Like that's not. I can't just be like, okay, now I'm a fucking famous rapper, and you all have to think I am
because I said so.
By my music. Yeah, I can't say that.
No, it doesn't work that way.
You know? And granted, it's mental illness is no fuck that I'm gonna have to delete that. But can't say mental illness these days. That sounds really bad.
You can't accuse somebody. What it is being in a different mind process, right? Everybody's brains are circuited differently. Period. But
I just don't like how you can't disagree with them at all.
Yeah, you can't disagree with them, and you have to deal with it being shoved down your throat in order for it to be accepted. Period.
No.
It's being forced upon us to accept it, even though here's the thing. You could name 10 people that probably did this back in the 90s, right? Dressed as a girl, did whatever they did, nobody ever said a thing, that person was happy, lived their life, right? Because everybody left them alone. Yeah, he didn't go around forcing it. He went to drag shows, and he went and joined the community that was already existing to have a good time. But he didn't force it down everybody's throat that didn't want it to be.
No.
You know? And now we're at a point where it's forced.
But I also think it also kind of just seems like it is. Because of the internet. Like...
Oh, it's hyped.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's... I have a Twitter. I don't go on Twitter much. But the shit I do see on Twitter is, like... If you don't want to suck a dick, you're homophobic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
That's kind of... And to me, that's fucked up. I would never... But this also goes back to the kind of the Chick-fil-A thing that we were talking about earlier. I also don't believe that you should try to change somebody from who they are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they literally do fucking gay conversion. They support gay conversion therapy. And to me, I think that's like one of the most fucked up things you can do to somebody.
I didn't know anything about that.
That's like, to me, that is one of the most fucked up things that you can do to somebody. Like, people are going to love who they love, no matter what.
And be who they are.
And be who they are. You shouldn't... And this also goes back to trans stuff, you know, like, be who you are. But I'm not transphobic because I don't want to kiss you. You know what I'm saying? Like...
Yeah.
Like that, you can't keep thinking everybody that doesn't 100% agree with you is a bad person. And that's my biggest problem with all of it, is that if I don't want to give you a hand job in the back of a taxi cab, I'm a fucking terrible human being and I deserve to be canceled by the world because I'm not down with dick.
Yeah. And that happens a lot in more than just gay too. It's
LGBTQ fucking whatever.
Anything
all
that's
it,
not your
know?
standard belief that's shoved down your throat, you're bad if you don't agree. Is what it comes down to. If you
Only
don't agree
if you're
with
straight and white.
Yeah, pretty much.
We get to.
Yeah.
You know.
But you can't disagree with anybody's opinion. It used to be, okay, I accept your opinion, right? Your opinion is your opinion. You can't have an opinion now as a straight white male.
Well, this is called the Voice of Unreason podcast. So we can get unreasonable if I want to.
That's fair. That's fair.
Know, like,
no, and
which people are going to hate it. I can already tell you right now that we already went way further than I wanted to go in this episode.
Just kind of happened, though. You know?
So, but like,
thanks, Hogwarts.
I kind of wanted to just introduce us and say, hey, my name is VoKab. This is your friendly neighborhood asshole, fucking that guy, Eric Moore. And he's
thanks, guy.
Yeah, we're just kind of, you know, I tried to do this by myself quite a few times, and I don't know if you know how hard it is to sit by yourself and talk into a microphone
and have full conversation, basically.
Dude, it's so hard. I don't understand how people do it, but I figured out how they do it. They're not fucking alone.
No.
You know, and there's a few of them that are alone, but I feel like those guys are like reading scripts. You know.
They made their material before they started.
Yeah, exactly. But guys that you see that are like kind of just rambling to the camera, there's somebody behind the camera that they're rambling to make it easier. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of who, once we get film, that's who Eric here will be, is the guy behind the camera that fucking Googles shit and
throws an input here and there.
Yeah. Eventually we'll have fucking... I made that post on Facebook about wanting to have guests on and like the kind of guests I was looking for.
Yeah.
And my fucking inbox is full. Like, we could be booked out every weekend for the next year and a half if we really tried to.
That's wild.
Like, it would be crazy. I mean, we still got a lot of stuff we got to do because editing this shit is going to fucking suck. Like, there's... All those laughs are pops and fucking...
Yep. Overpowering the mic.
This is why we need two microphones, because our voices are different. Yours is way louder. Mine's way quieter. We can fucking... I need one of those buttons that you can press, that Joe Rogan has, that you can press so you mute your coughs. So you can press the button if you got a cough, and it doesn't fucking... Yeah. The cough button. Because they're always...
The cough button.
They're always smoking weed and shit in there, you know what I'm saying? I never hear those guys cough, though, from smoking weed. Like, am I the only person in the world that dies every time I hit marijuana?
No, but a lot of people that do are also cigarette smokers, too.
Yeah, well, I don't cough every time I take a drag of a cigarette.
That's true.
So, it does, I don't get it. Dude, being sick this week fucking sucked.
Oh, yeah. It's been going around like nuts, too.
Yeah, it seems like everybody's got it. Hear that fucking dog barking. So what are you doing right now?
Fighting spiders at the moment, dude. Kind of getting beat up, actually.
Is that dude jacking off? Oh no, his hands are behind his back. No, okay. Dude, have you watched The Boys yet?
Yeah, I haven't watched it all yet, but I've been watching the hell out of it.
How far are you into it?
Season 2, halfway through.
Oh, Jesus. Wait till you get to season 3. There's an episode called Herogasm.
Herogasm.
Herogasm. Shit's nuts.
That whole show is nuts, dude. Like,
But that's how it would really be.
controversial as all get out.
Well, and superheroes making mistakes? Could you imagine that?
Yeah,
Like-
big mistakes, too.
Like, that's basically what it is it's just Marvel and they make mistakes. You know? But, like...
Make dirty deals and make dirty jokes and...
Well, if you think about it, like, human mistakes are usually pretty big to you, but, like, superhuman, like the very first 10 minutes of the first episode, dude runs through that lady. Like, I bet you, in Flash lore, he probably ran through somebody.
Oh, probably.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know. The one thing that caught me was the Aquaman equivalent, basically. Like, if you want to be here, I'm going to get a blowjob.
Oh, just wait.
I had a childhood crush on you. She turns around and he's just got his pants down, dude.
Dude, just fucking wait. Oh, can I give you a spoiler?
In season 3?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, go for it.
Oh my god. So the fucking deep. This motherfucker. Dude, the episode's called Herogasm, right? And it's a bunch of, like, what they say call C-class soups, you know? And
yeah.
it's where it's the 70th annual Herogasm, and it's just a bunch of superheroes having an orgy, right? A whole bunch of crazy shit's going on, and the deep ends up there, and then fucking one of the other characters ends up there too, and homeboy's in the bedroom fucking an octopus. And then later he tries to get his wife to have a threesome with the octopus. He's like, I need this, babe.
What? Could you imagine that?
Literally top 10 craziest fucking TV shows ever made.
I'm surprised it hasn't gotten canceled.
It might even be the craziest TV show that's ever made. Like, all the way up until this episode, there was never a warning.
What do you mean warning?
Like, you know how, like,
At the beginning of the
mature
show?
content, you know what I'm saying? Or, like, fucking South Park's, like, all this shit is, you know, South Park's warning.
Yeah.
Treasury.
I think it said it in the beginning of it says it on some of the first season.
I don't remember there ever being one on the first season, but
I only know that because I binged the hell out of
because
that
there,
first season.
so did I, dude. I binged all the way to season 3, episode 1, and then had to stop so Felicia could catch up. But, like, holy shit, the fucking the octopus thing.
That still wraps my brain. I've got images in my head of having a threesome with an octopus that don't belong there right now, dude.
Dude, that had me sent. I was fucking. Oh my God.
How detailed is the octopus?
It's detailed, dude. The warning actually has to warn you that no animals were harmed in the making. It's fucking wild, dude. Like, yeah, the warning says no animals were harmed in the making, and all of the basically say that the CGI was really expensive. I looked it up, and since season 1, episode 1, they've paid $11.2 million per episode.
Wow.
To create that show.
I can tell you the fact that I'm on the late train with that show, most people, 90% of people I've asked about The Boys so far have watched that show. And then when you told me is kind of when I was like, all right, well, and then everybody I knew had watched this already. Everybody I know has watched this.
Dude, that shit's nuts.
Oh.
Yeah, I never heard of it. Actually, like, the oldest guy at my work asked me if I'd watched it, and then told me, he's like, you need to watch it. Make sure your kids are asleep.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, okay. So I watched it, and I was blown the fuck away. Literally, best television ever created, I think. Unless you're squeamish.
Yeah. There's some people that watch it.
Yeah. Unless you're fucking squeamish.
I want my dad to watch it, but I don't think it would be.
I think the attacks on Christianity that are in that show, I don't think he'd be able to go.
Yeah, I don't think he'd mind that necessarily. It's more so Ma, she doesn't like the sex in the show and all that kind of stuff. That stuff's hard for her, and that show definitely tops that borderline. When you draw that line at what you watch in movies, that show tops it.
Have you met Liberty in the show yet? Or not? Or Stormfront? No? Okay, yeah. You're not that far into it, so I'll quit talking about it.
Yeah, I'm like season 2, episode 3 or something.
Dude, that shit is nuts. What do you think about Homelander?
He's a cockbag.
Dude, it's so crazy because with that show, it tells you who you're supposed to like, right?
Yeah.
In the show, but it's hard to like them.
Yeah, it's the weird thing about Homelander is I feel like his intentions behind things.
Well,
are
you're supposed to hate
off
Homelander.
Yeah,
you know, you're supposed. He's the Seven are the bad guys, except for like fucking
right. Starlight.
Yeah, you know, and Vought, and they're the bad guys. But like in the comic books, it's kind of that way to a point, and then everybody's bad.
Huh.
But the TV show is a little bit different.
I guess I got to read some of the comic books.
Dude, I binged it all. When I find something that I like, I kind of go. But yeah, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to read the comic books.
There's a animated version too.
Really?
Yeah, it's on HBO Max right now. And then they said there's also a spin-off coming called Generation V.
Oh, okay, from following Compound V.
And then there's and that's all based off of like college soups.
Okay.
And
so the animated's on HBO.
Yeah.
But this show is on Amazon.
What I understand, the animated version fills the gaps on what happened between season 2 and season 3, and the year that separated the two. So it fills all those gaps, from what I understand.
That makes sense.
Just fucking fighting spiders. Is Aragog in this?
I don't think so. I don't think Aragog's a thing yet in this timeline.
I know you guys can't see what we're watching, but this game is pretty fucking insane.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts. Oh.
Imagine if you had to like have a mic and say the words before you could throw the spells.
That'd be wild. Apparently, some of the cutscenes in this thing, a little bit of a spoiler, but one of the girls you come across in Gryffindor, she's from, I can't remember the name of the school, but she's from a school in Africa, and she talks about wandless magic. Apparently there's basically everything that they do with wands, they teach at that other school to do without wands. And then wordless casts as well.
Huh.
It already, in the beginning of this game, dives into stuff that you didn't really cross your mind to think of when you went down the original Harry Potter story. You
Right.
kind of just were given what you were given about the wizarding world, right? And then Fantastic Beasts opened that up a little bit. And
Dude, what did you think about the bullshit with Johnny Depp and Fantastic Beasts?
Same thing I thought about every other bullshit that followed Johnny Depp and the Amber Heard thing. He got pretty much canceled from everything.
Yeah, but put that aside. Just him not being in the last one. The Secrets.
Oh, it's because he got canceled. And
I know, but like the way that they did it, and they were like,
yeah, I wasn't fond of that. I actually haven't even finished Secrets of Dumbledore yet.
You haven't?
Every time I turn it on, I fall asleep. But
like they make it so his character, fucking, what's his name, Grindelwald or
Grindelwald.
Yeah, I don't think that's how that's said.
Grindelwald.
Grindelwald, okay, yeah. Grindelwald.
I don't know, dude.
It wasn't Grindelwald either, but
Let's see. Pronunciation.
But yeah, he can just fucking. Oh, this character can just magically change his appearance. And I get that they're all wizards, but did that character have the ability to do that in the books?
See that? I don't know. Was there books that
There's
followed
Fantastic Beasts books. That's where
I haven't read those yet.
And then there's also a new one that's coming out with all the original characters from the movies. That's based off of the book. That's based like 20 years in the future or something like that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be about like Potter's son or something.
Yeah. Gross. Fuck
Missing a thing here.
It's like wizarding Fallout.
Oh, Reparo. That's what I need.
Wizarding Fallout. That's the best way I can see it. Describe it. Or like Skyrim.
Yeah. I guess I don't know which one I really get a feel off of here for it. It's made very... I don't even know, honestly. It's got the... I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with this thing. It has me highlight it.
We've kind of just mumbled about Harry Potter and trans and...
Everything, really.
Yeah, kind of for a second.
It all stemmed off of Hogwarts, too.
It's actually been 40 minutes that we've been rambling about Hogwarts and trans people.
Wow.
Yeah. Fucking wild.
Goes by quick, man.
Yeah, especially when you don't really have anything to fucking talk about.
Oh, we can come up with all kinds of... That's kind of what's happened here. I mean, it's not like we really came in here with something to talk about. And
Well, yeah, that was kind of my idea for it. I didn't really want to have like a basis of it, you know, of... I kind of wanted to just be ramblings of fucking crazy people, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think... I love listening to scripted podcasts, but I don't want to tell other people's stories. I'd rather them tell me their stories.
That makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of, I don't want to fucking read Wikipedia for an hour and then basically copy and paste that onto a script and then tell the story of somebody's death. You know, like that doesn't...
Yeah. The unscripted to me is what makes the best podcast, truthfully.
You know, yeah. I agree. And it'll definitely be a lot better when...
We just came up with 5 subjects that started off of throwing a wand around on a screen, dude. Like,
yeah, exactly. video of a fucking rocket going through the air and an explosion.
I never even heard about that.
Because it got scrubbed.
That's fair.
Yep. But I saw the video of it, and people still talk about it in comments under fucking posts and shit. But everybody's saying that it wasn't real. Not real videos. You know what I'm saying? I think the fact that people think nothing's real is what makes it even more believable.
Yeah. How many people are saying something's not real for a reason?
Dude, exactly. You listen to the Joe Rogan podcast?
Yeah.
Did you listen to Eric Weinstein on there?
I did not listen to it. No, I did not yesterday.
Go listen to that one.
I'm usually pretty behind on Joe Rogan's podcast, but I listen to him.
Dude, his shit yesterday was nuts. And the way that Eric Weinstein's he's like a mathematician, physicist.
Huh.
But the way his brain works is nuts. And he thinks basically the same way that you do about the video shit. Like, that can all be faked. It's whatever. You know what I'm saying? But what he says is when he's talking to sober people, multiples that are saying the same fucking shit, that's when he starts to believe them. You can show him a video all day long. It could be edited. It could be whatever. When he's talking to people and hearing the same thing over and over again from different people who are all fucking sober people, then he starts to believe it, you know.
And that makes sense. I mean, I think anybody's kind of like that, though. The more you kind of hear... I could tell you a story, right? And it's going to be probably... let's just say I'm some random person, right? I'm not me, obviously. I could tell you a story. You might not believe it, you might believe it, but it's going to become more believable when you start hearing it more and more and more and more. Obviously, talking to different people, you're hearing the same thing. At what point does it become non-factual? Especially when gaps don't happen in those stories.
And they're all the same?
And they're all the same.
What are the chances? You know what I'm saying? Of that being...
exactly. And that's what I'm saying. And that's more so the human brain.
Our mathematic brain starts taking...
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Deductive reasoning says, okay, that's true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just got a hard time believing videos. I believe something more coming out of somebody's mouth, yes.
Absolutely. But I also believe a lot of these videos. Because of the fact that how accessible cameras are these days.
Well, they're everywhere. On everything. They're in your fucking teddy bears.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like, people didn't have that in the 70s. But now, how many police officers have we held accountable for their bullshit because somebody had their phone in their pocket?
Not enough.
Not enough, but a lot more than there was.
Well, cops got cameras on them and you can't even believe them.
No, because they turn it off. You know what I'm saying? There's like,
yeah. But I know that from experience, my friend.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But like without cell phones, without video, period, the world would have never known that Rodney King got his ass whooped.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
You know what I'm saying? The world would have never have known. They would have swept that shit under the rug like the rest of it. LA riots would have never happened. Without video.
Things like 9/11 would have been a myth to people in California, you know what I mean?
Bet you fucking money, redneck motherfuckers in nowhere, Ohio, were sitting there saying, that's fucking Hollywood magic right there. That's see those batons, that's CGI. That's Jurassic Park stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Probably still redneck motherfuckers saying that about the acid rain down there. I mean, it's...
You.
Me, 100%. Yes, you're not wrong. Shit kickers and all, but I am one of those redneck guys, but...
I'm just saying, dude, that like... Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. But I believe it. I 100% believe it.
Here's my thing. I'm not saying that video's not factual. It is. It's just harder for me to believe.
I think we're far enough away from East Palestine, Ohio, that I think we'll be all right.
Oh yeah,
but absolutely. If it gets into the food that we buy in the grocery stores,
I mean, yeah, and that's the thing is, hopefully our stores You can shop local at that point. They're not going to buy their food from behind. All right, Walmart probably still will because they don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Albertsons probably still will because they don't give a fuck. But, I mean, you're talking about food. How many years does inclement weather affect food that goes to other stores here in Montana? Like, it's... Food disasters are actually more of a normal thing than people think.
They are. E. coli. Fucking... how often do you hear about recalled lettuce?
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, granted, ours isn't bad. I guess ours is more of a money thing. People lose crop due to inclement weather here.
What, the egg shortage? Have you heard that conspiracy?
Oh, yeah.
And how it's all in the feed?
Yep.
Causing the chickens not to hatch? Or not to drop?
Yeah, well, now eggs are bad for you to eat, too. So,
Whatever, I eat eggs every day.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
I'm at a loss here.
Well, fuck, we've been doing this for an hour. Should we be done?
We can be. I mean,
Alright.
I don't mind. I feel like after listening to this, people got kind of an idea. Even listening to random conversation gives you an idea of who people are.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's it. Thanks for hanging out with us. We're open to any and all topics you want us to discuss. So if you got anything you want to hear us fucking bullshit about for an hour or so, then drop it in the comments below. Make sure you like and subscribe and
Eat your eggs.
eat them. Bitches.
It's a rough week and I don't get enough sleep. It's a long year pretending I belong here.